Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the Red Sea podcast. This is Dennis, as always, and I expected to be more positive coming into today, but as everyone saw, we ended up losing to Ike 1-0 with an Eliasson goal in the 90 plus 1. But we'll get into that. We'll get into that game. Starting off, I do want to say that I have some good news regarding the show. If anyone saw, I don't know if anyone paid attention to it. Uh, this channel went down again, like 2 days ago. No, yesterday. And give me a second, I apologize. And I did manage to bring it back up this time. Uh, and for good. This time I did get in contact with YouTube, and they told me that it's good, no violations happened, and we should be good. Now, I want to get into the football game first. I will get into something way more positive, and that's the volleyball cup final that happened uh, yesterday against a Milonas team that has been extremely surprising this season. Of course, they took us to a fifth game in the semifinals where we ended up beating them. And we set deficit to make it to three, of course, for anyone that saw. And now the guys hold the cup. And now we are on the way to face Panathinaikos in the league final, as I mentioned in the show before, hoping for the best. I I believe in these guys. I believe in these guys a lot, and I think everyone does, and more people need to realize that we have a lot of success in every sport, and more people need to support uh, teams like the volleyball team, the handball team, the polo team. In handball, I think we got to the semi-finals of the European competition we are in. I will update more on that soon enough when, as I said on episode 1, I will uh, do a completely separate show at some point for uh, the Erasitechni in general to go for the entire season of most sports because it's been extremely successful. Move on after that. Let me actually fix my audio if you'll excuse me for a second. Stuff happens live, everyone. We are back, and I hope everything's okay now. Should be okay. I am very sorry if the start of the show was messed up. I will look into fixing what was wrong, but everything should be okay. Now, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing this live, and I am nowhere near a professional. But yeah, moving on now, after the quick praise on the volleyball team, which I hope you all heard, moving on to basketball, moving on to the positives. Uh, for anyone that didn't see, we faced Aris in the Basket League today to close out the regular season, and we won 85 to 77. Uh, Aris is, of course, a competitive team, and I said before the game that you can't underestimate these guys, and we should never even try to underestimate these guys. And it paid off. Not really able to speak about dominant performance, but of course, major praise goes to a man that will prove all the haters wrong every chance he gets, and that man is Alec Peters, who, seeing my notes just to confirm, has had, I'm sorry, had 28 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. After that was Thomas Walkup with 11, 6, and 8. Nazmi Trulong had a nice game, a very nice game with 10, 2, and 5. And then was Moses Wright with 9, 10, and 1. Uh, People got arrested. Like, my camera is off, now it's back. I will get into fixing the whole technical issue by the end of the week. Uh, yeah, as I was saying, getting sidetracked a bit, I apologize. We do end up finishing the regular season. We will end up finishing the regular season in second behind Panathinaikos, and I do not actually know uh, who will be playing come the playoffs, given some games haven't been played yet. Uh, it seems like it may even be Aris, but we'll see. We'll see. Now, after getting through the, the quick chat, actually, no, I wanted to talk about one more thing, and that no, actually, I'm sorry. What I said, wait, I'm confused. I'm confusing my own self. We had finished the regular season, I'm completely mistaken. Brain. Uh, we are in the championship round, and this was the start of it. And the next game is against Peristeri, as far as I can see. So, yeah, now moving on to the EuroLeague part of the basketball chat. The next game, of course, is against Red Star, Red Star Belgrade, and we finished the season off against Fenerbahce. Uh, I will go on and say again for anyone that hasn't gone back to listen to which I would appreciate if you went back and listen to the first episode. I promise it will be more organized than this. And we, as I was saying, we do have a chance still for having home court advantage. Uh, but it's slim. With Panathinaikos beating Bologna, it is very slim. Beating Fener will more or less secure fifth place for the team, and it then depends on Panathinaikos, Barcelona, and Monaco, really. So we'll see. We'll see. Fener will be a tough game, but we'll talk about that when the time comes for both the Fener game in basketball and the Fener game in football, which, once again, a small reminder that those are uh, back-to-back days. Now, moving on to the depressing part of the show and the majority of the show. I hope my connection and my audio doesn't fail me on this one. Uh, the game against Hyde. The game against Hyde. As I said, it's just the rule of football, isn't it? It's honestly just the rule of football. Uh, we had zero clinicality despite playing some very good football with uh, some specifics I will get on to. Uh, Despite having, I think it was five clear-cut chances I can think of, we ended up conceding at the death after a very chaotic ending. But yeah, a lot to talk about before we get to that ending. I will actually start off by going back, talking about the 11. Uh, Let me find it so I can make the proper moments. Of course, Cholakis under the sticks. Yes, exactly. A full derby and there is a lot to talk about. That's why I tried my best to keep a good pace but get through the basketball chat and the volleyball chat relatively quickly. Uh, Getting through a technical issue as well, because of course this show has technical issues. I hope my audio and everything is okay now. As I said, I will get to fixing the whole connection issue. By next show, hopefully, but we'll talk about next show at the end of the game chat. But yeah, no, I'm glad everything is working just fine. No, Solak is under the stakes with the back four being Ortega, Carmo, Arechos and Rodinei, Chiquinho and Nese being the midfield duo with Podence, Fortunis, Masuras behind the Jubel Cadet. No, I won't start with player ratings or nothing. For now, I'll just get through some notes I have. And the first note I have made is the first big chance we missed, and that's the Masuras header. Went more or less straight on Georgios Stanisides. Doesn't remember again back. For everyone that doesn't remember, Daniel Podence got hold of the ball. Hadji Safi was on the ground. I am not aware if anything had actually happened. It's one of the plays because they just failed to cover properly. Masuras was alone. Podence whips a perfect cross in, more or less. And Masuras just heads it straight at the keeper, which was our first big missed chance. Uh, Masuras in general was nowhere today, honestly. But I'll talk about Athanasiadis and all the saves he's made, but comment from my girlfriend that is a fan that was there. Thank you for passing that one. Uh, I do not know. Did want to get into it about Bochum rumors and everything, but I don't know. I honestly don't know if the contract negotiations have much to play in this part, or if Masuras was just being Masuras today. So we'll see. Honestly, I have no further news other than what I have covered already on the Masuras contract. So honestly, we'll see. Not much more to say. But yeah, I think that header was foreshadowing, honestly. The next note I have is one of the few positive notes I managed to get out of this game, uh, and that's Jolakis. Jolakis filling in for Paskalakis coming back from injury, but according to words mostly, Paskalakis was fine today. If Mendilibar had chosen him, he would have played. I do not. Risk management, I am not aware. I do not know if Jolas Wale, he was for sure one of our MVPs, uh, but yeah, I'll get into him later. A lot of comments popped up suddenly, that's why I paused. Jolakis had the much needed confidence, yes, I was gonna get into that. Uh, he seems like he's grabbing the chance that's been given to him by the neck. And honestly, if he gets prep at all, I honestly wouldn't be mad at all. The specific thing, while my connection is trying its best to stay alive, I hope that it gets better as soon as it can. The specific thing I wanted to get into was the honestly very surprising uh, one-on-one stop that Zonakis had against Levi Garcia. The, I don't know if I should call it a center back like stop. I don't know if it was extremely quick thinking. I don't know if it was reflexes. I don't know if it was luck. I don't know if it's all four combined. I don't know. Yeah, Levi Garcia was horrible today. I do agree. But props to be given to Jolakis for making that amazing, honestly, stop. Because it would have been 1-0, 1000%. I love, I think it was Retsos. I love Retsos, but he wasn't stopping Garcia if Jolakis didn't get his foot in. And then Dove to catch the ball, of course. And if Jolakis didn't choose to exit, he would have been thundered in with the ball, probably, knowing how strong Garcia's shots are. Uh, so yeah, just incredible today. And the goal is, of course, not his fault. I honestly wouldn't be mad if we saw Jolagis against Aris as well. But that's wholly up to Mendeleev. Speaking of, just to get into Greek mentality once again, criticize Mendeleev for the way he handles the game. There are people today that criticize Mendeleev for the high defensive line. People who praised Mendeleev for the high defensive line against Maccabi, mind you. So yes, we really need to stop with the recency bias. We need to stop being fans of wins, and we need to realize that football happens. Shit happens. Okay? We're still under a new coach when Deliver is not a miracle worker. And now the realistic goal is third. Panathinaikos are horrible. So we need to secure Europe. And we can. And we need to do what we can in the conference league. Let's not criticize a man who seems to be one of the best coaches that have been here in a long while, and for no reason at all. Yes, we are in an amazing path under Mendilibar. Things seem to be working out amazingly, and as one of the Olympiacos pages I am a big fan of said, let's score all the goals we missed today against Fenerbahce. Now, moving on. This is sort of praise, sort of annoyance, and I will go back to Levi Garcia. Uh, about the last play, I do not know if Reggio should have just pulled up Federico Valverde and totaled Elias Golden Red and just uh, everything's bad. Comment, of course, saying that El Gabi is in God's pocket. I will address El Gabi today because he was equally bad. And yeah, going back to my point before, in the last play, uh, I don't know what he should have done. I'm not at a place to say what he should have done, but I won't criticize Regis today because he was good. Regis was very good. Uh, so was Carlo. But Levi Garcia falling every two plays and whining is honestly so annoying. Like I know most players do that, but Christ above today. And to focus on my point, for those saying that the play with Carmo was a penalty, you are delusional. That's clear cut. You are delusional. Now, moving on calmly, as calmly as possible at least, to another one of my candidates, Delu. Yes, exactly. Because Levi Garcia was more of a synchronized swimmer today than a striker. Uh, now, moving on to Podence. Podence, I think, did everything he could today. I have written down the his dribbling today was immaculate. Podence's dribbling today was immaculate. I've noted down two plays where he just passed. I think the first time was three players like, and the second time he he spun around two players like. Control what that spin move is what we know that Potenza can do. And seeing more and more of the old Potenza, the Potenza we know and love, I really hope we will come into Wolves' office and try and buy this man on a permanent and not uh, sell him immediately uh, to get into the comments. I will get into Chelsea Martins because I kind of disagree with his comment. I'll get into him later on the more or less on the player ratings. Uh, and I know this is a just a comment saying he's too short to find. Then he's gaining his speed again, aside his dribbling and his honestly magic control. Potenza is gaining his speed again. He's just a joy to watch. He's one of the few joys to watch aside Zelson Martins. He's been one of our only proper wingers, not just this year, in the last Lord knows how many years. Ever since Podense himself, probably. Uh, but yeah, I could say Giovanni Cabral as well, but I don't know where he is. Now, the next note I have written down is uh, like, it's ironic that we lost, and Just some players today were incredible, but that's football, honestly. And some people need to realize that other than kill some players in criticism. But match football, when you miss your chances, you eat one at a death. That's the unwritten rule most times. And yeah, Chiquinho, the man that managed to play in another game 90 minutes at 100% at CDM, CM, and attacking midfielder. The man at some point was a left winger. He almost scored one of the best solo runs I've seen getting past. I think it was Haji Safi and Villa. Uh, the I'll actually bounce into that play. Coutinho getting through, shooting with his outside foot. Athanasiadis honestly have to praise it, making another incredible save today at that point. And then Jovetic, Jovetic striking it. I think it was a toe poke or it hit his shin maybe, but the ball just going sideways and him missing an open net is just one of the five chances um, aforementioned, and a very, very sad chance, and one that late in the game would have 99% won the game. Uh, I'll use this to take a break from my notes, given that it's uh, halfway, basically, and we're around halfway through the show, to use this comment and say that midweek we will talk about it, and the show will probably have its first guest, as we mentioned uh, in episode one, and that guest will be my girlfriend, and we will talk about the Ike game from two perspectives, and two actually get to see that episode and any episode in the future, either with me, with people joining from the chat. Of course, the link is up. I'll say that bit up. And now you're back. I'm glad. And yeah, to not miss any of those mentioned episodes or any episode in general, to not miss any updates, any news, or anything you do want to catch up on once in a while. I'll also be doing follower submissions for what you guys want to see out of this show, because this show is to connect fans globally through the diaspora and to provide the safe space that Greek media doesn't, and the unbiased that Greek media doesn't. Follow the show on Instagram, follow the show on TikTok, follow the show on Twitter. Of course, subscribe here and follow and leave a review on Spotify as well, where this show does go up a few hours after. Yeah, I, I will update on the next show through Instagram and Twitter, like I always do. So yeah, I think that's enough promo. Moving on. Now, another person that I want to talk about and say that sadly we have no updates on it yet, and I don't think we'll have for a while, is David Carmo, Arok. in the back today. Honestly, did everything he could as well. And another play I have pointed out is the one-on-one stop he had against Orbelin Pineda. I am pretty sure. Love, please correct me if I'm mistaken. If you remember, I'm talking about the pass he stopped going through for a one-on-one to happen, and generally stopped so many plays today. I won't say he pocketed anybody because Levi Garcia was horrible either way, but we honestly feel safe with this man in the back, and I'd be more than happy to keep him around, especially if it is a buy. Uh, I also have the Reds header noted down. The Reds header was one more chance that could have easily gone in, but the man that made the stop there was Damian Szymanski, sending it into a corner. And I think with every note, everything going through, you just see more and more that just wasn't our day. Honestly, just wasn't our day. We had a good defense. We played very good defensively today, indeed. That's why I said when I started the convo about the game that the goal was honestly just a very good goal. It wasn't anyone's fault. Uh, but we lacked offensively. We just lacked clinicality. I've already mentioned four chances, and I'm sure there were a bunch more uh, when I sit down and watch the highlights again. When we sit down and watch the highlights again together, it will just be probably like 10, 15 chances. Yes, I know. I am not disagreeing at all. It is Mendilibar's ma- Mendilibar has brought Mendilibar has built a new team with players that are not his. I think that's the safest thing to say, honestly. And I know we didn't play defense in the last few months, but we do not talk about Carvajal. We do not talk about this man. Mendilibar is a miracle goalkeeper. In the human spectrum, at least, but the man is a miracle goalkeeper. Here is the defense, you see. Uh, Carnaval, yes, God. I really don't want to mention that man anymore. I just want to forget it happened. Now, moving on, another thing I wanted to say, and another player I wanted to talk about. And honestly, one of the last things I wanted to talk about regarding the game, at least with the not so calm mind I have now, uh, and that is Francisco Ortega. Francisco Ortega, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know why he can't get back, but he's out of position constantly. I think there were three, four runs that mostly Garcia made, but uh, I think Gacinovic made as well, Chuber made as well near the end. He was just getting caught so off guard for no reason at all. He needs to improve. Simply said, he was the weakling of our defense today. I like the guy as a player. I think he's a very promising left back, but he needs to improve. Mendilibar will help him improve, of course. I do believe that. But the Aris game will be a massive chance for him to improve or rest one of the two. Uh, and then the Lamia games, of course. But he can't be playing like that against teams like I, and he can't be getting so so caught out of position against teams like Fenerbahce. But yeah, notes aside, I think we're coming up on 45 minutes. Again, this is a late show, so I won't take it too much more than an hour, since we will come back and talk about the game midweek also. I will go through the player ratings. I will give my MVP. I will give a coach grade as well. And then I think we'll end it. Look, Jolakis I talked about more or less. And Jolakis I will give a 7 to. I know the goal wasn't his fault. You know what? No. Jolakis I'll give an 8 to. The goal wasn't his fault, but we lost, sadly, so I can give that 9 or 10 I would have given, but I will give an 8 to Jolakis. Ortega, I will give a 5, even if that's incredibly harsh by some, or even generous by others. I'll leave him straight down the middle. Uh, Carmo for me gets a 7, a bit lower than Jolakis, but had an amazing impact today. Rechos get a 6, right in between Ortega and Carmo. Amazing today, but risking a red, like Rechos mostly does. Uh, I didn't talk about Roddy today. Roddy was just being Roddy. He gets a 7 as well. Not the peak of his. You have to praise the man, given that he's still playing through an injury that's been going on since the first Maccabi game. The man is killing himself to play for this club, and that's why, for me, he's already a legend. He's otherwise our best right backs. He's one of the best, if not the best right back in recent history. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I am too biased towards Omar to put Rod in a clear top, but they're here for me, both of them, because both of them know what they're playing, and now both of them have been captains. Uh, Tiquinho for me, Tiquinho for me gets a 9. Honestly, the only thing he could have done better is score the shot that Asanasiadis saved incredibly, as I said again, because you have to praise, you have to give praise where it's due. Uh, I expected this comment. Of course, for those who don't know, and I'm sure it will be mentioned in the midweek show as well, my girlfriend insists, and some other people insist, that Chiquinho looks a lot like Dimitris Kourbelis. I keep disagreeing because I really don't see it. But yeah, the man was, I think, it's up there with Podense, with the absolute best today. But I'll talk about that and the small differences when I talk about my MVP. Elche today, I will give a 6 to, because the man did a lot of the dirty work like he usually does. was good on passes, but he wasn't per se the standout he usually is in the midfield. I feel like he got a bit eaten up, if that makes sense. Uh, Masuras, I will put with Ortega because aside the missed header, he didn't really do a lot. He he was the Masuras of last season, sadly. And I think in different fits. I think in different fits. Uh, Moving on to Fortunis, who I am going to give an 8 to, and I will put him up there with Solagis. Uh, Pure captain's performance, like always. And I keep this thing. No one I will this. I will ask this again when we get the news about what Fortunis will do, but I do not see the Olympiacos team where it is now without Fortunis being the man of the team, the captain of the team. Yes, pure maestro, honestly. And the man is even getting back and winning the ball now. He's fighting for it. May not be the MVP today, but he's incredible. He's honestly incredible. Don't know what to say. Uh, uh, Now, my second nine of the game, and that is Daniel Podence. For what's there to say other than what was said? He just danced around the Ike team. He found passes that no one else would have. And he just put on a show in the Yes Sofia that excuse my dog. Uh, that was just missing a goal in one. But what's there to do, honestly? I just hope he continues like that, and I hope he stays. I hope Mendilibar convinces uh, Betis to pay the class, and I hope he stays because he's found a more incredible form than even he had under Diego Martinez. Now, a man that just didn't do it today, a man that missed our biggest chance and the only chance I hadn't mentioned on purpose until now, the chance at the death of the first half when he went to one-on-one with uh, Yorgos Athanasiadis and tried to lay it past him instead of chipping it over him. El Kayoub, El Kayoub, the hero of Europe, our top scorer this season, just didn't do it today. Just didn't do it today. If that goal went in, the game would have been even maybe won because the halftime would have just given us all the momentum and killed Dyke's mentality. But there is no need to talk about ifs and buts. We lost. We lost fair and square. And yeah, he gets a six from me. And I hope that he comes up big both on Wednesday because even if it's a game against Aris, we're still in this and we need to perform. And I will talk about what I think the team's goal should be after I'm done with the ratings. And yeah, moving on to the subs. The first substitution, of course, coming in at the 61st minute to replace a lackluster Masuras is Zelson Martins. Zelson Martins, who created very divided opinions today. Gelson Martins who some liked, Gelson Martins who some didn't. Gelson Martins who some don't remember, apparently, that is coming back from a long-term injury because even the minutes he played, I don't even remember against who it was. I think it was Offi. Even the minutes he played and got knocked out again within 35, I mean, Kobe liked him. I liked him too, but I expected more. He's a joy to watch, and I believe that he can find perfect form again if he stays healthy for a streak of games. But he needs time. It's clear to say that he needs more time. He needs to be eased into it, not pressured into it again. Leave him 7. I don't know if I mentioned that. Mm, yeah, give him a 7. Uh, Now, a man that fooled me for all the wrong reasons, and a man I defended in the past, and nothing today. I honestly need to check to see how many touches he had. He had 5 passes and one shot. I take for a striker. Honestly, do not know. I do not know. It felt like he had zero. I do not know if it was a fitness issue that Jovetic didn't come in as early as Navarro did. He came in 11 minutes later. Uh, I'm just glad he's alone because he can't stay here. He's not good enough, sadly. I give him 5, same as Ortega. Not saying Ortega shouldn't be here, just talking about today. Now, a man, a man that could have won the game, a man that makes the open net, and but, not them, but, but a man that's finding form. And if he stays healthy and finds form, we know that that man knows tons of football. He's shown that over all the top 5 leagues, and if he actually does manage to stay healthy and help the team, and if Mendelebar wants him, and today, yeah, that's okay. But yeah, as I was saying, and keep him even as a mentor. Stefan Jovetic for me gets a 7.5, despite that he deserves a case, honestly. But we'll see. Finishing up, Youssef El Arabi is non-applicable for me, at least for player ratings, because he didn't have time to do anything. But yes, coach's grade for me will be a B plus, I think. Like a good 6, 7 out of 10. Because it's not his fault the chances were missed, he handled the game well. I just don't agree with the Navarro substitution, honestly. Now, to end up talking about the goals of the team, I think now you go for third, past Panathinaikos who are just a point above you and in a horrible form, and do all you can in Europe. Do you win the thing? It's very hard, nearly impossible with the giants you have in front of you in Aston Villa and Lille, especially Aston Villa. Uh, but you try. You try your best. You give it 110%. 10%. The league needs a miracle right now, in my opinion. We're out of it, and best case is third, unless an absolute miracle happens. But yes, I think that's about it. I hope today's show, with all the networking issues, was bearable, and I will see you midweek. I don't know if it will be with a guest. I will update. I will update everyone on. And yes, getting Europe is what we're focusing on. Is what we should focus on. Third should be guaranteed by the end of the season. Beating Panathinaikos twice is a possibility. And yeah, I think that's about it. See you all midweek. Maybe with a guest, maybe not. Especially with a better connection. I can promise you that. This has been the Red Sea podcast. This has been Dennis. Follow the show everywhere. Thank you.